rock star.
Yeah, try.
In that regard.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Odyssey from Snap Pro. My name is Kellen.
I'm
We
Terry.
have Terry here from Primare. We have an interesting product that I'm super excited about. This is the Allt-i-Ett from Primare. I'll let Terry speak more on it, but it does sound great. I was able to play with it a little bit, let you take a little lunch break, and when I got to play DJ for about an hour in here, we got to demo it for some customers. And I'm familiar with the technology that's used inside of it as well. I know what it's capable of doing, measuring the room and things of that nature. It does sound fantastic. So Terry, I'll let you talk on it a little more and let us all learn about the Allt-i-Ett.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. The Allt-i-Ett is Swedish for all-in-one, and so we've tried to pack a bunch of technology and a bunch of features and functionality into this compact box. And it derives from an effort that we have, or a goal that we have, to provide the best possible experience to the greatest number of people. And we realized that there were a number of people that wanted to have high-quality sound, but simply didn't have the space, the budget, or even the aesthetic interest in having a component system. And then, as an offshoot of that, we also realized that there are a number of people that have a component system, but want a more substantial sound in other rooms of their home.
Yes.
And so we designed it around that idea. And first and foremost, we were able to work with our DSP partner that we have a good relationship with in developing, say, the auto room EQ system that we have in other products that we have, which is incorporated into this as well. But in the design of the product, we're able to use a Klippel system to analyze very accurately every aspect of the output characteristics of the speakers involved in this all-in-one home audio system. And so we're able to use that to get the waveguide to create the same dispersion pattern as the mid-range driver here. And then in a separate cabinet, we've got 6 woofers. We've got 2 here in the front, 2 in the back, and then 2 underneath to provide great bass support and control.
That's what was kind of catching everybody off guard a little bit. It's not large, but it's not small either, but has very good depth, especially in this, this size room. It's not a huge room either, but it does pack quite the punch.
Well, and we've been really careful in how we articulated the implementation of the design. So for example, with that Klippel system, not only were we able to really get a good bead on what was happening with the dispersion, but also what was happening inside the cabinet, so that we could realize that we may have overstuffed it with wadding, and so we might have to pull some out so there was less compression and more air to be able to move by these large woofers or this large array of woofers. And so with that in mind then, the tweeter and mid-range are set up essentially as a two-way speaker with a passive crossover. Then there's an active crossover to the woofers. And as a result of that active crossover, we're able to apply this auto room EQ so that we can make linear, regardless of where you put it in the room, make the output linear, the bass linear. And it's really effective in the sense that it's incredibly easy to use. You simply have a test tone, you move your iPhone around the room, wherever you're going to listen. And that's a particularly good point. It's so specific that if you're going to be standing and listening, you have to make sure that you do both standing and sitting, because it will tailor the output to meet those demands. And once that bass is done, that linearizing of the bass, then all of the upper frequencies fall into place and have a much more natural richness and resonance to them.
Yes.
And then you combine that with Bach, the 3D spatial audio plug-in filter we have here. And Bach is an incredibly sophisticated program that works to cancel crosstalk in a way that their contention is that this is a better way of doing immersive audio from 2-channel speakers. You avoid less interactions from multiple speakers around the room. And that what it does in this case is that, unlike the really sophisticated, independent, computer-based system that's used for a more traditional 2-channel system where the speaker positions are unknown, the room is unknown, they know specifically where these drivers are, how they're outputting their sound. And so they'll be able to really test what's happening here and then apply very specific filters that relate to this product, and in fact specific to distances for that you're listening. So we have 1.5 meter, 2.5 meter, 3.5 meter out to get the best possible effect at your listening position. And this is particularly good then when you've connected it with the HDMI input to a television, you're sitting in front of this, and then that Bach 3D allows the Allt-i-Ett to effectively disappear. It's not going to give you a traditional surround sound, but it will give you this sense that you are not listening to a speaker system.
It's not coming from a box. the sound opens up much wider.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not to say that if you've got a recording with considerable ambient cues, that you can't be fooled, that you don't have stuff happening around you. In fact, I actually responded a little bit angrily to my wife, who kept yelling at me from the bedroom behind me to the left, only to realize it was a background singer and what I had been listening to that created this interesting effect. And then when you combine that on the HDMI input, we also have subwoofer output with full bass management. And so we do that not only for when you're, say, listening to the television, but if you have this in, say, an open architecture or an open concept kitchen, diner, living
Yeah.
room, you don't really want to expect this to produce all of that bass to fill the room.
Right.
Although we have devised in a safety system where as you raise the volume at a certain level, it'll begin to reduce the bass a little bit to protect the drivers if they don't have a subwoofer helping out. But then with the subwoofer involved, then your volume is almost unlimited
Right.
to fill larger spaces. And so with all of that involved, then it's just a matter of what inputs that we have and what control we have on that, and pretty much virtually anything you want. We've got analog inputs for both regular analog sources as well as a phono stage to attach a turntable. We've got digital inputs, and we also then have Chromecast Connect, not Chromecast, sorry, Qobuz Connect, Spotify and Tidal Connect involved. We have the Prisma application with all the features involved there with,
Yeah.
say, digital
Which is a
radio.
great app, by the way.
Well, thanks
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
And then we also have FM radio and DAB Plus, and we've got an 11-channel graphic equalizer built in to
Yeah.
really tailor the sound however
And
you wish
there's
to suit it.
HDMI on this too
Yep,
as well.
mhm,
Yeah.
yep.
So
HDMI eARC, and it works effectively well. The handshake is really solid. And the one thing also to make sure that's clear is that we don't have any Dolby processing. We don't have any surround sound processing. We don't think that's really the most effective approach, Bach being obviously the solution in that regard. We wanted this to have just the best possible sound and not have an attempt to try to emulate a 9.1.4 Atmos system
Yeah,
from a single
yes,
bar.
yeah.
And so as effective as that might be, our focus was on something different. And as a result, we think that we can get better performance.
Right.
And then kind of the last key feature, well actually two, is that we do have Bluetooth on board, but it's both a receiver and a transmitter. So when you need more private listening, you can plug in your Bluetooth headphones or your ear pods and be able to listen then privately. There's even a 3.5 millimeter jack for those who still want to use wired
Yeah.
listening.
starting to come back a little bit.
It really is.
Yep, yep.
And then we have the Prisma remote that's included with this. And this is the all Primare universal remote that allows you to control not only all existing and past Primare product as well as the Allt-i-Ett, but it will also control your television. And so you have one remote control that allows
Yeah.
all the control for all the aspects of the TV as well as all the aspects of the Allt-i-Ett. And so it really knits the system together and makes it incredibly easy for the entire household to really use and
Right.
take advantage and enjoy the system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hate to use the term soundbar because this is not to be thrown into just a singular category.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this can be set on a entranceway, you know, nice cabinetry when you walk into a home. You know, as you said, set, you know, to provide music for a kitchen area, dining area, whatever. But certainly can be used for an awesome sound bar for bedrooms, you know, living room spaces as well. It does sound fantastic. How much does it cost?
$34.99.
Okay, all right. So, you know, digital, active crossovers, that's kind of the theme that I have seen a ton more of this year in AXPONA. You can do a lot of interesting things with digital crossovers and being able to manipulate the sound that's coming out of these products. This is a very, very good solution if you're looking for kind of a console or sound bar speaker. So this is the Allt-i-Ett from Primare. Thank you so much, Terry, for sharing everything here. If you guys would like to learn more about Primare or any other electronics, if you have design work or if there's anything that we could help you with, feel free to reach out at shopodyssey.com. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you.
We'll catch you in the next one.